what in the hell is too much of a good thing? Probably better than you imagine. Cause when she feeling kinda ill, I just give her that good thing. That stick work like magic. I stay on mine, I know how to slam a dime when it's hammer time. You can't touch, can't grab it. Cause when I pull up to a bumper, I turn into thumper. We going at it like rabbits. Can't tell, can't call it. Running all through my cell, my wallet. Sex me to death, won't stop, won't stall it. Chill, shorty, how you gonna be thick and starving? And we ain't done yet. I be done broke your back, your neck. Had me on the queen size, half upset. How you talking about next and we just had sex? Yo. Yeah. 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 HuBes. How do you do? Welcome to another episode of RiHuBe. Okay. And video podcast, you probably see my door and Becca's in the background. That's the black and gold kicks over my left shoulder. Your right side of the screen. They're out of the box because I was moving around, for Christmas. Merry Christmas. And I violated, like I got all drunk in them and stuff. I got cake on them and all kind of shit. It's bad. All good though. I just got to clean them up. Maybe I'll clean them up and then I put them up front for the next video. But on this video, we got the Cool Gray 4s, which 4s is one of my favorites. I had a 4s in the last one, I think, too. And you generally want to just get anything in Cool Gray when it comes to J's. Or at least I do, But let's get into it. HuBe's we got Highland High. I think he's given some harsh opinions on this content. This is more TikTok content. That's where he does his thing. Shout to him. And let's just get into it right now.
Not you being a grown-ass man expecting to get a participation trophy and or to be rewarded for the bare minimum of not mistreating and or not sexually assaulting a woman. But I digress. In the words of my big brother Teenage Pimp, let's get it. People do deserve credit. They do deserve
slap the hell out of that phone.
In this world, full of evil and hatred-filled people. You goddamn right. When you treat a woman good, when you work hard for her, you don't put your hands on her, you don't sexually assault her, you do right by her, you deserve a motherfucker.
I can feel this dude though.
That is what a man is supposed to do for a woman, and that's what a lot of men in this world ain't doing. How low must the bar be set that you want a reward and a cookie for treating a woman good, standing by her, not putting your hands on her, and not sexually assaulting her? How normalized is it that the misogyny is just oozing about your fucking pores?
Way too much.
You're not a man. You're a man-child, goofy.
Alright, that was like, if you've seen it, that was just like a whole woman's demeanor he had there. It feels betraying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a guy or you're not a guy. And see, this is one of those times where it's all about the phrasing. He's saying this guy wants a reward for not mistreating a woman. And that sounds crazy, right? But what if you said this guy deserves a reward for treating his woman well? Like, isn't that how that generally works? Like, if the woman's being a good woman, the guy is expected to reward her. The man said he's being a good man. Yes, he deserves a reward. And this is pointing out the difference, the stigma that a man being a good man is somehow effortless or just a thankless task. And I don't know what the hell's going on in Highland brain. He got a whole woman in the family, and I'm sure he treats them fine. And is he saying this to say he deserves nothing for doing that? I don't know. He reached for something, and you should have seen him. He was doing some well, the video podcast, y'all will see him. He was doing something with his hands that was like, it was as if he was being birthed, like he's ripping his way out the vagina, and I don't really get why that was the chosen hand movements, but it was, and you should have seen him. You got to see him on the walk off too. It was fully just a woman's demeanor. But again, nothing bad or wrong about it, but I guess that speaks to why he thinks that being a good man should be a thankless task, job, item, element, existence. I don't know. I can't say I know. Sometimes, like, generally when he does his thing, I understand the direction he's trying to go in. But this one, not really. I think he was just saying all the words and doing all the things, because you got to say the words. He said misogyny in there, I think, and you got to say all the words. That's one of the words right there. So, any one of the stupids who's watching that video is going to hear him say the misogyny and just going to kind of write that dude off as being misogynist. Like, yeah, that was misogyny. And it wasn't. It wasn't. It was him explaining that men do deserve a reward for treating women well. Or at least that's what I got from it. You know what I mean? I guess it's about your life experience. Because real talk, let me tell you some real shit about me. If you watch this podcast or listen to it or whatever, if you consume this podcast, you can probably understand that there's some people out there maybe with some mixed reviews of my personality, and it keeps people on guard sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So what ends up happening a lot is people will treat me poorly in anticipation of me treating them poorly. Let me say that to you one more time. People will treat me poorly in anticipation of me treating them poorly. But you know what happens in that instance? It only goes one way. It's just them treating me poorly because I haven't done anything. Even if you anticipate it, if it hasn't happened, or you can't prove that it was going to happen, it's just you treating me poorly. That's all it is. But that's one of those catch-22 type items that comes with being a man. It's just okay to do that. You feel me? You don't even have to say sorry later. I suppose to just take it on the chin. I'm supposed to just be understanding of it. You know what I mean? But fuck that. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do that, I don't want nothing to do with you. You feel me? I probably was gonna treat you poorly anyway. So good riddance. And that was Highland High. That is what that was. And hope he's having success on TikTok, because he's doing numbers, so we can see, I believe, he's doing numbers on TikTok, but I don't know what else is happening outside of that, and I just can't, I can't get my social media to move like that because I can't kick out all that content. Not to say that I'm wholly incapable. Come on, I sit down here and I talk to you guys for an hour. And I'm mildly entertaining. You think I can't kick out 60 seconds of novelty shit? I just can't do it that frequently. Like I'm actually a busy person. Like when I work, which I do, I go to work. When I go to work, I'm working all day. And when I'm not at work, I don't want to be working. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just not contrary to, what's happening with this podcast, I'm just not an on camera dude really. Like, I'm just not into recording myself. Like, this is just me existing, you know what I'm saying? But recording me doing things, especially daily, sheesh, that's a lot. Sometimes people want more than one per day. Like, how much are you watching other people's lives? That's insane. You guys are insane. But all good. That's why I have a podcast. Hence the name of it, Ridiculous Human Beings, because this is what we're doing, man. Ridiculous shit. And shout out to all the podcasts that I ran through last podcast. It was the Pod About Pods. And we're going to do another Pod About Pods. I've been collecting local or little known podcasts. For two reasons. You ever notice, like, when somebody gets famous in a field, they don't come in not knowing anybody. They got a few people in the pocket, because they've been running in the same circle, doing the same things. And that's what you got to do. You got to connect with people who are in the same range as you. And that's part of, what I'm doing. But the other part is that other people's podcasts are fucking funny. Okay? And not to say that they are comedy podcasts, but they're fucking funny. All right? And I just like to laugh. I like to laugh at them. So and I'm gonna keep it real with you. Those podcasts that we dropped last pod, that just wasn't. I don't think those were like the cream of the crop as far as podcasts are concerned. Not that I want to talk, but those made me feel like maybe my podcast is better than average. If not a solid good podcast. Because I'm not tasting the words in your ear. And I'm not making, I guess, super off-brand sound effects. I could still hear them girls saying, ew, ew, ew. And it was like, there's a way to do that. I know what that is. Come on, I know what that is. I'm all about that right there. But there's a way to do that. And I don't think that was the way. I think it was the conversation, the banter. It just wasn't clicking. It's got to keep a certain pace. It's got to keep you hooked. Probably part of the reason why I over here speaking to myself this whole time. Like, I got the pace. It's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to await anyone else's response. Because it's like, if you got a team, which those were team podcasts, if you got a team and you on fire and your partner, is looking real doused out, you're going to have some dead space in your podcast. Like, you're going to be spitting, and you can't just keep talking until somebody's ready to talk. You got to stop, and you got to give them a chance to respond. And if they don't got the heat on them, they just fuck the whole movement up. And I think it was just a lot of that. It was just a lot of misfires in the conversational elements. Because it's hard to freestyle that between two people. Like, you really got to be close, or you really got to have a chemistry. A rare occurrence between two people in order for it to really be what it's supposed to be. Especially if it's unscripted, which I feel like those podcasts were. Much like this one is. But I digress. It was good to just talk trash about those podcasts. So I collected some more podcasts, local or little known podcasts. And what I do is I tell them, look, drop your podcast link. And I'm going to feature you on my podcast. Now, those of the podcast community, who dropped their link, a lot of them don't even know me. So they don't know what I'm really going to do with these podcast features, which is excellent, because one day, they may just stumble across it. And I'm sure it's just going to go one of two ways. Either they're going to laugh hard, or they're going to fucking boil. Okay? And you hear me pausing a few times in between sentences. Why? I'm full of fucking food. It's this time of year, man. I'm just, for days and days, I'm just eating just all the American garbage. I'm dying over here. I'm almost going to throw up. Right now, I'm full of food, and I'm still going to eat some more of the food. Like, it's bad. And don't get it twisted now. Even between these holidays, I'm on a diet. I'm eating like a squirrel, And because I be smashing the food, when the actual holiday come, and I check the fam, and they got the food, and they telling you, like, yo, take everything home. And I'm like, doing it now, and I'm just eating the food till I fucking throw up. All right. So if I don't throw up on this podcast, or if I do throw up on this podcast, this will be the greatest episode ever. How about that? Because I'm going to tell you right now, this podcast has to go nonstop. All right, for an hour. There's no cuts. There's no breaks. There's no edits. All right. So I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up all over this microphone. Okay. I'm probably just going to wipe my mouth and I'm just going to keep podcasting. It's going to be a vomit. It's going to be a vomit podcast. All right. I'm going to wipe my phone off because that's important. And it's just going to be vomit podcast. I'm just going to go till it's over. Okay. It's just going to be bad. So, without further ado, let's see if we could get into some of these podcasts, man. I got a gang of them, too. So, I got, I'm going to start off with my guy, Ty, man. Let me see. I don't know. So he's got a thing going on where I'm not positive what this is, but it's the podcast picture is like an owl with a suit on. Now, if you have anything related to an owl, there's supposed to be some intelligence in it, which, you know, we could get to that in a second. It's an owl with a suit on. He's got a cane too, you know, classic. He got one hand in the pocket, he got one hand on a cane. And he's got a light bulb over his head, too. It's called the Intelligently Speaking Podcast. And it's by Intelligently Speaking. So I'm guessing that's the name of the authors. Like, that's what's in the author space, Intelligently Speaking. So whoever this is, people or person, is going by Intelligently Speaking. So, yes, owl with the light bulb. So, owl in a suit with a cane, hand in his pocket, with a light bulb. So, already off the top, we have all of only the most unique elements of symbolism to help us get acquainted with this podcast. Okay. Do I know what this podcast is about? I don't. Okay. Judging from who it was from, I thought it was going to be like some things about trading and stuff, because I know you got a venture going on with that, but it's not. It looks like it's kind of all around, maybe intellectual topics, if you will, because it looks like the first episode says this is democracy. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to be like this is Sparta. It says join us as we dive deep into democracy in America. Okay, I don't know how deep they could really go with that. It's an hour and a half of podcast, so we're not gonna catch all that. Maybe we see what the intro is like, and then we jump somewhere into the middle and see if there's some dumb shit wrangling around in there. All right. So without further ado, Intelligently Speaking.
What's going on, good people? This is the Intelligently Speaking podcast.
Yep.
We discuss topics that affect our community on a daily basis. You have the noble, the fly guy, and the gent. Come learn with us.
The noble, the fly guy, and the gent.
So we're gonna start off by asking like, what's going on with you guys? How you guys doing today?
Who's he talking to?
Another day, another dollar.
There goes Ty.
Okay.
That's that dead space I was talking about.
It's a nice day. Actually, not too humid or too hot.
Okay,
today.
this guy going with the fucking weather. We already on a roll of uniqueness.
I did a run a couple of days ago, which was really nice, getting back into it. So going for a run.
Like an actual run, or run to a store.
Nah, actual run. Like I went to the park.
Okay.
There was like this app.
Are we interested yet?
For like a minute you'll run, and then for a minute and a half you'll walk. A minute you'll run, and it was like just to get back into it.
Yeah, like a grandma.
It was actually refreshing.
Yo, send that app to me, dog. And then next time you do it, give a phone call.
Now this dude sounds like Biz Markie.
That's on
Socially distancing, of course. Yeah.
Not yet. Especially with that boy.
That's right. Laugh at your own joke, man.
Listen, I ain't been nowhere.
What?
Chilling.
Mr. Globetrotter over here?
Hey, Globetrotter, bro.
I've been to DC and back.
You travel now more than you did before the pandemic.
Ooh, ratting your mans right out.
He like gas as a
COVID master.
Plane tickets are $20.
y'all gotta understand, like, you know, it only takes $1 to fill up a tank.
Facts, it really do. And you definitely spend $40 filling up your tank. You go everywhere, dog.
Actually, gas is super low, so I don't spend that much.
Okay, gas conversation.
Hey, no, you're right, but you go everywhere. You go everywhere, bro.
I guess.
All right, Dead Space.
I guess I said. But anyway, how y'all mentals with everything going on, everything opening up?
It's such a new nigga podcast.
This, you know,
how is y'all mentals?
It's a lot, man. Like I have
it's a lot
impacted by COVID, so luckily they're fine, but it's been a lot just to deal with, and then even, you know, all the racism and systemic injustices is like,
okay,
it's a lot to deal with. Like some days I don't want to leave the house.
This is Willie.
My house, not cut on TV.
This is Willie's podcast.
Sit here.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying the same stuff.
To this Frederick Douglass quote.
Oh, okay.
He said, without struggle, there cannot be any progress. Right. So for us to move and try to move this country,
this is the intelligently part.
It's going to be struggle, it's going to be progress, it's going to be war. So hopefully, and not really war, but just going to be struggle and easy. So my mindset is strong, and my mindset is not for us. Hopefully, our generation to see some of the benefits, but I'm mainly doing for our
Bismarcky sounding sharper than everybody else
for the next generation underneath us. So just understand that's my mindset. And I was like, all right, change gonna happen, change is coming, but we're gonna struggle just to get
Sam Cooke.
You know, people want to fight for this, people want to fight for that. So it is what it is. But I'm staying strong, bro. How about you?
I mean, same thing. Like, I mean, it's a lot going on. It's definitely could be overwhelming with COVID out here.
All right, we're gonna try to skip to the middle soon, because again, this is the same stuff everybody's saying in every podcast.
Trying to basically create cash flow, and also, you know, be supportive of the people around me.
All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. This was
it's a struggle, but like you said,
August 6th.
Without struggle.
So we're well into the podcast.
So
not podcast, the pandemic.
You know, see this motto.
All right. See what we got.
Let's get back to the joint, bro. That's another topic too. We could talk about too as well.
What?
But we all gonna talk about the joint too. I apologize, but like you said, during Jim Crow,
okay,
you had to pay a POLL tax between $10 to $100.
Mm-hmm.
How
informative
you have
right
no
now.
Money? Because if you're just a slave, how you have no money, right?
Yep.
There's the other thing they made you do, which I don't think none of us
Well, you're not a slave.
100% of the population.
Percent.
In fact, 99.999% of the population can't do. Guess what they
Slave
also asked
couldn't
them
vote.
to do? They asked these people to recite the Constitution.
That's insane.
All right, the movie that I need to find. I'm
get it. It's informative. I get it.
The person went and did all of that.
But remember what I was talking about?
They asked all the questions.
About that Dead Space.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about because I just see that movie too. I know exactly. I can see that. It was in a. Of course, it was in the room. I can remember it was like a white lady too. I remember the movie you're talking about.
And I think it was a woman too. She recited the whole thing, and they were like,
crazy, yo.
Dead Space.
Who can't do that? You feel what I'm saying? Like, who's your favorite rapper? Matter of fact, who's your favorite singer? The Gent. It's probably who is it? It's probably her.
Singing?
Is it her?
I don't think they ever introduced who's who. You know, not that I listened to the whole thing. Like, I skipped to the middle, but still, that's something you do in the beginning.
That's another topic.
Your facts.
Okay, that's gonna be.
This is the hopeless romantic. Yeah.
Your fate.
All right, so that's what I can already see that's what this podcast is gonna be. That podcast is this is another topic podcast. Okay, they're gonna be saying things, going off on tangents, and then saying there's another topic. All right, and hopefully pulling it back in. And you see, I didn't mean to jinx it, but didn't I say to you, you had a team podcast? If your partner ain't bouncing the fire off like you doing, then you're gonna have a lot of dead space. You heard it, it's dead space in there. You know what I'm saying? And you can't have that. So it's the Dead Space. That's another topic podcast. And I see they have some informative elements in there, but if you're gonna be informative, you really gotta be on top of it. Like, you gotta be shooting. You know, or else it just comes off like a boring classroom lecture. You know what I'm saying? You remember back when you was in school and a history teacher teaching history, like only one person talks at a time. It's just the teacher. So everybody else is a student with their damn hand on their cheek, you know what I'm saying, falling a fucking sleep. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's gonna be. Until somebody say, that's another topic. All right, and I mean, good luck. You know, maybe we'll revisit another episode of that later on. You know, because the next episode, guess what it's gonna be? It's gonna be another topic. All right, and we'll see what happens. And again, do they introduce who's who? They said the gent, the fly guy, and the something else. And I'm looking at this owl, and I'm gonna try to put him in the video podcast, man. It wasn't just a light bulb. It was a light bulb and a half and half light bulb microphone, looks like, and it got some kind of cord coming out of it, and I can't quite make out what the cord is supposed to be doing. I don't know. Maybe it's just a design. I don't know. And the owl has IGS on his blazer. And is that supposed to be for intelligently speaking? Because they put the gent part in intelligently, like they drawing real attention to it, like it's in capital letters, the gent part, I guess because they're gentlemen. Okay, but boy was sounding like Biz Markie on there, and I don't know, I didn't know Biz Markie to be too much of the gentleman. But all right, that's what that was. Intelligently Speaking podcast. If you liked that, you could go subscribe. Okay. You know, but it's a good chance that this episode of this podcast that I am giving to you right now is not what made you like it. All right. Our next podcast victim is a podcast called New Men, Same Block. I don't know. All right. Before you even form an opinion, I don't know. And you know what it is? It says the dude is going by Proper Chris. All right, because this is another one. This is an angle that people take. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they need to be damn Dapper Dan, you know, in podcast form. And I don't get it. You know what I mean? I pull up on you guys in a t-shirt every week, and I think the podcast is fine. Now, who people are trying to be, you know, with all of these dandy personas on the podcast, I'm not sure, but it's a sign of the times. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a goddamn classic man, okay, in order to feel like you're moving ahead in life. Okay. Meanwhile, my pants sagging off my ass and my belly is full and cash in the pocket. If I need it, I got it. You know, oh, that was a bar. Don't steal that. So, New Men, Same Block. Don't know. Okay? And when I seen the it's where the author is, you know, and I thought it was the genre. It says Christian. I was like, this is a Christian podcast, but nah, the dude name is Christian. Proper Chris. Name is Christian. Why he didn't put his author name as Proper Chris, don't know. Okay, so 2 strikes already for New Men, Same Block with Proper Chris. And I'm gonna try to put the these damn podcast covers on the video podcast too, because these shits are funny. Okay, these shits are funny. You know why? Because this one has the guy on it. You know, like his likeness. It's a picture of him. He's on it. You know, this is just how self-absorbed, you know, the movement is, the wave is. He got to put himself, you know, out there like that, and it's okay. okay, because it's hilarious now because it's on a fucking podcast cover. But all right, let's see what we got here. This is New Men, Same Block. Don't know.
HUGLIFE. The hate you gave little infant. PCK everybody. Meaning, what you feed us as seeds grows.
Okay, that was that Pac. Oh, it says
this is New Men, Same Block.
Okay, sounds about right.
And thanks to everyone.
This one is called A Conversation with Tupac.
Hey, everybody. I'd like to welcome y'all to the very first episode of New Men.
Yeah, this guy sounds exactly like the title of this podcast.
This journey, experience, everything that's finna go down on this show.
Everything that's finna go down.
Uniting the world. Realizing that we are all on the same block, the same planet.
Ooh.
The
Stretch.
Same people.
Stretch.
With a united experience and a collective identity.
Good speech.
This world, we are interdependent on each other. We are interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody actions, all 7 billion people actions affect each other. Whether we want it to or not, what I do in this country, in this nation,
I think this is a script.
Affects somebody from another side, whether it be good or bad. And we got to find a way on this journey to put the power back into the people to make these decisions.
Do we think this is a script?
Currently, right now, there's a top percent of people who take it upon themselves to decide how the world will play out and look for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we at the bottom, we argue amongst each other and tear each other down.
Regular shit.
Which further aids in giving these few percent of people the power that they want. On this show,
or we gave it to them and they didn't want it.
With various people from different experiences, different education, different perspectives
like
on
Tupac.
A lot of different topics. We will highlight many social, political, and worldly issues, and we will focus on building solutions.
Yeah, this
not
definitely
just
is a
talking about
script.
the problems and understanding and diagnosing the things going on, but we're going to build solutions so we can all unite the people and realize we are all on the same
And I think he goes off the script a little bit, like
world.
right there.
And it's going to belong to us. Right now, for the very first episode,
actually very good
just
speaking.
Be a little warm up, talking about different things with my brother Tupac.
Oh, okay.
Love
your brother.
his perspective, and I love the way he looked at things, especially coming from the bottom. So I'm gonna play a few more.
A little more word variety and a little more confidence, a little more fluid nature of speaking.
But currently,
and he'll really be on a wave.
We on, and for the future, the journey go get bigger. We gonna talk about a lot of things, a lot of stuff like that people want to hear.
All right, breaking down. That's because you should have stopped already.
So it's time for us to heal, and it's time for us to
saying all the stuff.
Tune in, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. You get what I'm saying? That's the non-fluidity.
After about a week, that song is gonna change to "We hungry, we need some food." After 2-3 weeks, it's like, give me all the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, you just like, what I'm saying, I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting. You know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago.
Tupac floating the podcast.
We was asking with them, the civil rights movement. We was asking.
And I'm interested to know how he's gonna come back. How do you come back in after this?
And we shouldn't be angry. And my raps that I'm rapping to my community shouldn't be filled with rage.
How much of this is going to be there? It's like a 20-minute podcast he's got.
So my raps, I have to talk
is 10 of it going to be Tupac?
Because there's no one else talking about it. All the society is doing is leeching.
All right, a few more seconds and we skip to the middle.
They use the ghetto for their pain, for their sorrow, for their culture, for their music, for their happiness.
Pac, that's real as hell, bro. Because it's funny you say that.
Go ahead.
Like, pay attention what people saying. Mm-hmm. And don't just bob your head to it, right? That's bigger than rap, man. Because you got politicians who do them exact same tactics. They make it sound appealing and beautiful to the people, making them think like they really talking about solutions for us. They really rocking for us, right? And then they try to make it seem like, nah, the other side, they ain't got your best interest like we do, right?
Regular shit.
We don't hear what's real because we all got our biased, closed-minded views on different stuff, right? We hear this politician talk about X, Y, and Z, right?
Okay, this is a description of humanity for the last 2,000 years.
We'll vote them in a position of power in office, get them, say they whole political career. But then when it comes to really getting down and doing the stuff that we need.
Okay, and that's why this is just not interesting. They
don't really follow through.
There's no originality here.
They plans, right? They say,
if you want to use the recording of another man,
plan to help black people,
and then it's a recording. It's not like it changes or it's spontaneous. Like you could have formed some solid opinions on those recordings.
Little programs they try to set up,
and you didn't do it.
At the end of the day, those things
break down.
It don't help long term.
Okay.
And it don't.
All right. So it started off all right because I think he was saying his own piece, giving his own opinion and whatnot. But now he was trying to. I guess what he's trying to do is like, catch a hot take off of the pop vocals, and it didn't work. Didn't work. Okay, to me at least, didn't work. He said all of the generic shit. You feel me? Like I couldn't listen to that no more. And it was just as choppy and just the vocabulary was just as narrow as ever. Like you don't follow up no Pac speech, with your jittering and your mumbling and your BS. You know what I'm saying? Pac coming from an angle and you just flatten the whole shit out. Can't do it. Don't do it. And I do want to know what the next episode is going to be like. Like, is his whole podcast just going to be like that, trying to hit hot takes on like already established views and opinions? Like, I don't know. If that first episode is an indicator of what's to come, it's gonna be bad. All right, it's gonna be bad. Boy, voice is real light, so I don't know. You're gonna have to choose your subject matter wisely. Because if you're talking about community and revolution and things of that nature, people are going to expect you to come in with some force. And he wasn't doing that. He was dancing on the fucking, the dotted I's and the crossed T's. But whatever. New Men, Same Block. Sounds exactly like the title. Okay. Exactly like it. That's what I'm going to say about that. And we're going to move on to another one. Wow. This is the Pod About Pods Part 2. Okay, and so far, we're doing pretty bad. But the second one made the first one seem much better. I'll tell you that much. All right, what we got up next? Up next, we're going to do one more. We got my man D.A. Okay, he got his podcast, D.A. Blackson. All right, and they got like the fucking eclipse in the background or whatever. Not the most unique element of visuals, but seems like his episodes pretty erratic in length. Like you got some that's 13 minutes, some that's 20 minutes, and some that's an hour and a half. Like what was you doing? You was just filling away? And he's got some of the podcasts with the date in it. And it's like, bro, whatever date you posted, that's the date. And it says Conversations with Ignance. My man spelled Ignance. Oh, not even Ignance. Maybe it's a person. Ignacy. Ignace. I don't know. And he got some of these up to a year ago. How about that? Let's start with the first one. He's gonna say this one is about reparations, featuring his spouse. Okay, so it's not just him. It's gonna be a team thing, and we're gonna have that same issue with the dead space. Almost guarantee it. Almost guarantee it. All right. So let's jump into it. All right, this is D.A. Blackson. That's the name of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? With Delvin Benson is the author. jump into it. The first episode has a different picture than the rest of them. Okay. We already on shaky ground. All right, let's go. All right, music.
Hi guys, it's me, Delvon, aka the Black Sun.
Delvon.
Just wanted to touch base with everybody. You know, I posted something earlier today via social media that I'd be doing a podcast related to reparations. I know a lot of people are talking about that right now. And I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on reparations and how
conversation right now. Very good.
Personally, I
is
feel
his
that
spouse gonna fuck it up?
Can be a plus, but they also can be a negative. I know a lot of people say, you know, you can't argue the affirmative and do that. But, you know, I just want to let people have people understand that, you know, when it comes to reparations,
this is a 20-minute one.
Mean it has to come in the form of money or monetary value. A lot of people don't understand that there are other ways that we can have some type of...
so far, this is good.
I guess you could say being or a higher level of consciousness or trying to be able to get some type of financial or spiritual uplift, you know, without having to rely on somebody else.
Thoughts a little bit all over the place, but
stimulus.
Not that I'm going to talk.
To say that means, you know, we do have to start to look at each other and ourselves and understand that it is within ourselves that we will find true happiness and salvation.
He's
and it has
cooking right now.
What somebody else is going to give us. I think that we need to be more resilient and in that regard, you know, take care of ourselves. Mentally, psychologically, we have been oppressed.
Still on it. This is by far the better of the three.
In that regard, we have to, the fact that we have been psychologically damaged, we have to come to terms with that. And understand
this is
that
from a year ago.
As people have to elevate ourselves to the point where that no longer is a factor. You know, that's not what's getting in our way.
Now, I'm not
having these
scoring him high on the originality points.
We should be getting our 40 acres and a mule.
But in a solid space.
We should be thinking about ways that we can create our own spaces so that 40 acres
because it's
and
important
a mule can
subject
be created,
matter.
it's self-sufficient.
And he been riding the beat.
Given to us as a gift. We earned and we created
whole
our
time.
spaces. And I think in that regard, we would value those spaces a little bit
and
more.
I didn't even realize until just now that the music was still back there.
Such as Black Wall Street. I think that Black Wall Street is
coming in historical. He's got a healthy ramble going.
However, due to faults not of our own, that was destroyed. But that doesn't negate the fact
now
that
I feel like I can almost guarantee that
we could build something that is twice
his
as
wife
strong
comes
in
on
that
here and
regard.
fucks it up.
To say that we can reparate,
not to say she's not intelligent or she doesn't contribute,
to
but
provide reparations to ourselves.
This type of fluid between two people,
we owe that to ourselves to be able to.
I can't believe it.
Create.
I'm about to skip around a little bit, not because this is not good, but because I want to see where the lady comes in.
That will
and what happens.
Help everybody, you know.
And he's freestyling it too.
You know, black or white. They actually have to prove the percentage that they are of native descent based on their blood. I mean, you think about that, and you look at us, and African Americans are not being to that degree. I guess you could say. I mean, this is insane. I mean, if you think about what Native Americans are having to deal with, and you compare that to what we're dealing with, you're like, man. I mean, when we talk about we want our 40 acres and a mule, but we're taking the land from them. That's actually their 40 acres and the mules, if we're being technically correct.
You know, some of them still live on reservations.
I mean, naturally, but the fact that they have to live on a reservation, it's one of those things, and that's why I say, when people say monetary, when I hear reparations,
I want to hear more of what she's doing, but maybe she's just keeping herself in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Because boy is on fire.
It's always somebody wants to.
That point he just made about the 40 acres and a mule actually belonging to the Native Americans was lit.
Happy if they provided like wealth
slowing it down.
You know, instead of just handing out and allowing people to spend and then become broke once again. Teach them how to cultivate their wealth.
I mean, naturally. I mean, but like
she's cooking. She's cooking. Okay.
even if we do that,
slower pace
I feel like when
than,
you look at
than,
African
than DA, but
Americans and say us being educated in a, clearly we're being brought up in a Eurocentric educational system that is not African-centered based. Which, I mean, again, if they were going to do reparations, I feel like people say education. That's fine. But when I look at education, All right.
Enough of that. But that's actually seems like a good one. Wow. We got a good one, ladies and gents. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe the second episode is gonna be a drastic fall off. Whoa. Okay, but that was actually a smooth one. Shout out to my boy right there, man. And his woman sounding very smart on there, and very on track. You see, now I I critiqued some podcasts in the past, and they had women on there, and I always be firing them up. And people probably think that it's just a thing with me where I'm just disparaging the women, but I'm not. She was on point. She was on money. Compare her to the rest of them, and they didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? She had it. You know what I'm saying? And I think a good part of it too was, well, they are husband and wife combination. So like I was saying earlier, you have to be very close with the person. You have to understand, you know what I'm saying, their pace and the method of communication. And I could tell that they do, because she came in on the subject and he picked up right after that. No dead space. You know what I mean? And she had a comparable interjection, you know, something that had weight to it. You know what I mean? And she spoke in a way that was effective, or felt effective. Probably because she wasn't just saying all the words, you know, Yanniverse spiritually and all of that. I was okay with that. You know, and that makes me a little bit sad, because I didn't think I was going to be okay with any of the podcasts, to be sure. You know, well, not to be sure, but to be real with y'all. Okay, so if we're going to rank them, we're going to say DA, definitely top notch. And then we're going to go with intelligently speaking. This boy sound like Bismarcky, or he sound like he had a grilling, or somebody slapped him in the mouth or something, you know, and they was letting him talk a lot. And then, you know, new man, same block, definitely taking the bottom slot. But you know what? I feel like we're going to be listening to that one the most, right? Because that one is probably going to get funny. Okay, it's just a hunch. You know, if not really pure comedy, then definitely just still funny to me. You know, and that's all that really matters, right? Boy, if we could round out the pod about pods with a little bit of Can't Sell Carson. This is a pod about pods part 2. And let's just throw a little more Cancel Carson in there. And you know what? We're gonna do a newer episode because she started podcasting again, and she's got a guy on there, and I just want to get a feel for what that team effort is like. Okay, her and the guy. So let's play a little bit of that. And I don't know why this is making me laugh there's nothing happening. I gotta get the guy on there, you know, just to hear from him, you know, and ask him. I'm just asking questions and stuff. And then I have to get Carson on here to tell us what happened between her and Shorty. Because I'm about to be the low key, little known podcast version of Drink Champs. All right, we about to just get all the scoop and the skinny about this stuff and the people that we don't even care about. But once you hear it and once it happens, you that's when you care about it. You hear me? So I should do that. I'm gonna try to do that. You know, that's if she hasn't already completely shut me out, because I do get on her Instagram and write just foul shit on there. You know, not nothing flagrant. But you'll know if you listen to the prior podcast. So let's see if we can get a piece of this action. It says, welcome back. Come on. You got to do that. That's the Mace joint. Well, we could do welcome back Carter too, but just the Mace joint. All right, what we got? They changed the intro. Now it's fucking bubble wrap.
Artlist.io.
Oh, it still got the drop from the producer on there. I mean, which is a good look. Good promo.
Okay, so
damn, couldn't fade it in.
All right, so y'all, it has been a long
Greg coming in whispering already.
Really
damn, Carson's just too powerful.
It's back. It's back.
He's coming in real Mr. Rogers.
Day one, I love and appreciate you.
Do you?
Y'all have seen me through a lot. My first initial co-host.
I think I count.
Unfortunately, that did not work out. She's did it for myself for a while, and then I was like, you know what?
She's talking about
this ain't it. I gotta have somebody. I love having a perspective. I love having.
Shout out to RiHuBe.
As much as I love to talk.
Doing it one person.
I think it's always good to be open to different ideas and new perspectives, and so that brings me to this lovely gentleman who is sitting beside me. Yes, sir. So
look at him. He's flattered. He's under
my new co-host,
Carson's spell.
Greg, will be joining the Anomaly podcast for this season and many to come. So
many to come.
This
is like the last.
It's like what's going on? First of all, before we get into getting into this, I just want to say thank you. I want to pay homage to you and for the Anomaly podcast as a fan because I've been a fan since day one.
I appreciate that.
I enjoyed the content. I enjoyed how real and how authentic. You know what I mean? I felt like you were all the way through when you had a co-host.
I think I want him to say God.
Like, by yourself. You know what I mean? So I know that I can't imagine how tough and difficult that must have been for you. You know what I mean?
Come on.
From a viewer's perspective,
right here.
And from a fan, a genuine fan, man, you held it down, and so I always just enjoyed how you brought, transparency and realness.
Okay, you can finish.
And put that out there for everyone. I feel like people could relate to that. I could relate to it. You know what I mean? And I paid attention to the feedback that you got, and people show love because folks could relate, and so that's. I know I'm gonna get into it, but that's hopefully what I can bring to this as well. So.
Yeah, for sure.
No, you can't. Right? You're not a hot wing.
I'm looking forward to this season. I'm looking forward to.
I think Shorty was there on the last time with some heat.
But yeah,
Greg, I'm sorry.
Homage first.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate that, and you were also one of the people who again been there since day one and always have. Been like, keep
it's
going.
Too cute.
I like
it's
that
too
episode.
cute.
And giving me feedback and asking questions.
I wrote bring the podcast back on Instagram.
One of the many reasons
I ain't get no shout out.
Initially got together on our first initial project that we worked on, and we talked about doing this. I was like, of course, right? Because just the chemistry is there. We already flow really well with our conversation and have deep, thought-provoking conversation, and you make me. I don't necessarily always like it, but I'd be like, okay, maybe I ain't right, maybe he right. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, that ass, I just appreciate you, and I know you'll bring a lot to the show. So, thank you for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
For sure.
I'm looking forward to it.
So guys, everybody, this is literally just an introductory episode. I just want y'all to get to know Greg. Y'all know me. Y'all know Carson Charisma.
Do you?
Keep that shit raw, real, and transparent. And to Gregory's point, he's going to do the same.
I have to poop now. This is fucking my stomach.
Oh, big time.
For sure. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing
but
about
I want,
these two
the people to get to know
turn
you
up
and
to
who
me.
you are. So,
or maybe I'm bugging.
Go
ahead.
Well,
tell us, Greg.
My name is Greg.
Mm-hmm.
We got that part.
I'm from West Columbia, South Carolina.
All right.
I like sports.
Shout to SC.
And that's it.
What is that? I don't know.
It's already bad.
Oh, we talked about that. We did talk about that. But you're a movie buff.
It didn't go over well.
Y'all will learn. Y'all will learn that. You know what I mean?
But what I don't remember it fully.
So Mike was from North Carolina.
He was from North Carolina.
But he said Winston Salem. So it was like Winston Salem, North Carolina.
But you from West Columbia?
Yeah.
Oh, he was. I forgot.
And then Slim was cracking on like I like sports and that's it.
Slim was real ugly. He had that real ugly hair.
He had a Jerry curl or something.
Yeah.
All right, let's skip to the middle. Let's see what he gets.
I already was like a sleepwalker. So I don't know if that means like I had something going on. Don't tell nobody, but I mean, so I don't know. And like I used to like go stand in my mom's bed and like wait till she woke up.
Okay.
Like when I was little.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know. I don't know enough about my own life because I could tell you it been some wicked shit, it been some wild shit, it been some foul shit. But I wasn't standing next to nobody's bed till they woke the fuck up. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I caught the fuck that wave early on in life. Okay? And I wasn't fucking around with nobody like that. You feel me? Doing little tweak shit like that. And I think she just said she was sleepwalking too. What the fuck going on with people, man? I used to go to sleep and just wake up. That's it. That's all. Go sleep and then wake up. That's it. What's wrong with people? I'm telling you, again, I know some wild shit that happened to me in my lifetime, but it seemed like my reactions to it is just ain't the same as other people, man. They be doing stuff. They'll go through some shit and then some shit and shit just be happening to them for weeks and months and years. No, you go through that shit and then the shit happened and then if you got out of it, good. You know, move on. Move the fuck on. I think that's what it be with people. I'm still burping up all of this food, man. I'm telling you. It's bad. It's everything, man. It's fucking fish, it's jerk chicken, it's macaroni, it's baked ziti, it's cake, it's everything. I'm tasting every bit of it. But okay, I had to stop that. I had to stop that right there. All right. Like, what the fuck was people doing? I was watching Michael Jackson VHS tapes, which is probably a weird thing to say now. You know, that's a shaky thing to say now. But I was watching those all day, and then and trying to get the moves down. You feel me? And other people standing on the corner of their parents' bed. That's probably because my mom used to tell us straight up, "Get the fuck out of my room." You know what I'm saying? Don't come in here. Don't be about that bullshit. Okay? Stand on your own too. Be firm, be solid. You got into your problems, you get out of them. You know, and people will try to swing that, you know, in all of this new world nonsense. There's all sorts of softness, all sorts of what you call it, like abuse and whatever. But no, just how you make people firm. You make them accountable. All right? And sometimes you can make children accountable. Saying, look, this is something that's happening with you. It is within your ability to get yourself through it. So do that, you know, in so many words. And I think that's okay. You feel me? And that's probably what that woman needed because, you can't be sleepwalking and standing on the edge of people's bed. You know, speaking of Michael Jackson, right? It's close to midnight. That's fucking Thriller shit. You feel me? Wow. Caution Thriller. And your boy Greg there. I feel like I want to go back to a podcast where I mentioned this podcast and this new picture that they got on here. And I know I gave a breakdown of who I thought Greg was. And I feel like that's exactly who he was when I heard him talking just now. Okay? Because I tell you. Look, if Carson put me as co-host on that podcast, the first thing I would have did was interviewed Shorty. Like, yo, Shorty who you had on here before was a piece. What happened? And every time she gave an answer to something, I'll be like, was it because she's a piece? You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. I probably got another time I can still do that. If I could get her to call in. Shout to that. But yeah, that's it. That's about it for us, Hubies. This was Pod About Pods Part 2. And I hope this was as funny for you as it was for me. You know, it was less of me being funny and more a time to let other people be funny, even though they wasn't trying to be funny. You know, audio podcasts on Mondays. Video podcasts definitely still on Wednesdays. Just some hidden gems in these video podcasts for sure. Like, for really. You know what I'm saying? The audio is lit for sure, but some of the stuff and some of these people, you just gotta fucking see. Okay? And I'm gonna try to put all of these podcast pictures on the video podcast because it just makes it even funnier. Okay, and I think I probably got one or two more podcasts that I could dive into on the next show. So next week, you know, that's what it's gonna be. Another Pod About Pods, part 3, and make it a trilogy. Wow. And I don't know a greater way to say this other than putting these other podcasts in the spotlight, you know, in comparison to mine, and understanding what they're giving each other praise and accolades for. And we got it all right here, Hubies. All of it. Okay? So again, I don't know how to say it all better than fuck y'all.